Welcome everyone. I am Abhay. Today we will discuss the virtual contest 29. Before starting, let's have a look on the standings. We have 59 participants today, and approximately everyone solved the A problem. And C, D, and E are seems quite tough because 50% can solve only. C, there are 43 submissions and 28 only get accepted. Let's discuss later on. Today I have Krishna Charan with me on Meet, original gangster with the username. He will discuss help me in the problem D, which I was not able to solve, and he tried also E. He will also give his approach. Let's start with A, B, and C. The first question was A, the chat room. In this question, we are given a string, and we have to check whether we can find hello from this string. We can return whether Vasya can say hello with the given word s. So what we have to do is, like, everyone have solved it, so it's kind of brute force. Like, we have to check one by one in the given string. At the first we get h, then we have to check for e, we have to check for l, and again l, then again o. If we find hello in the same order in the given string, then we will print yes, otherwise we will print no. Here is my implementation. What I did is, I checked the count equal to 0. If initially the count is 0, means at first I need h, so I find h. I increase the count. If count is 1, then I need e. Then again, if I found e, I increase the count. If count is 2, I need to find l. Then again, if I found n l, then I again increase the count. Then again, at the fourth position I find l. If again I find l, I again increase the count. At last I need o. If I also find the o, then I guess I will get hello, so I will print yes. Otherwise, after the full iteration on the given string, if I can't find the hello, so my answer will be no. So let's move on to problem B, which was equalize. In this question we are given two binary strings a and b of same length. We have to perform some operations on a. What we can do is, we can swap any two indices on I and j of a, but it will cost us I minus j, modulus of I minus j. And second operation we can do is, we can change any of the bit from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. It will cost us one operation. So we have to determine the minimum cost to convert string a to b, a equal to b. So in this case, let's explain with the markup. After seeing this question, the first thing came into the mind is, like, like the string is 1. Let's take one example. 1 0 0 and 0 0 1. In this case, we have to make string a equal to string b. So here the index which are not same are 0 and 2. So we can make operation. I can flip this to 0, and this will be equal to same index, and I can flip this index to 1, and again that second index will be equal to 0. So here what we can do is, we can only check for the adjacent one, because swapping because when we swap, then it will cost us the difference between their indices. So the efficient way is to swap only adjacent pair. Like, if we check only the adjacent pair, it will cost only 1, and it can make two indices equal, because when the indices level are more than 2, like I equal to 0 and j equal to 4 are not equal. So, and here we decide to do the swap, then this approach will be wrong, because the swap will give us the cost 3, and if we take these both indices individually, then if we flip the index 0, and if we flip the index 4, then it will give us the cost only 2. So we will do swap only when whenever we found two consecutive non n- uh, which non two adjacent dissimilar elements. Like in A, if two consecutive elements are not same in the B, then we will do swap, otherwise we will do the flip operation, which is more efficient in this case. So like in this case we are not having such condition like of so here we can check. So let's take like I am taking this example 0101 and 0011. uh, 01 01 and 0011. Here you can check if here I can find the dissimilar indices where the elements are not similar, same in A and B both. So if I do here, because here the adjacent elements are not same, so here I will do the swap, because here the swap cost only one, and here I don't do the flip because the flip cost me one for this and one for this. So here flip will cost me 2 and the swap will cost me 1. So here the intuition is like, if whenever we get two adjacent pairs of digits which are not equal same as B, then only that place we will do the flip, otherwise we will always only that case we will do the swap. In the other case we always do the flip because that costs lesser than the swap. So yeah, this is the question B, and here is the implementation. I take the two inputs A and B, and if A and B current index is not equal to not same, then I check for the next one. If the next one is also not same, and the current and next one in the A are not same, because we have to swap and the next one should not be same as the previous one. So if also not same, then we will do the swap and increase the index, not increase the count in this case. Otherwise I will increase the count for every flip. So yeah, then at last I will print the answer. So this is the problem B. um, how many solve? Yeah, great. So yeah, let's move on to problem C. Here the accuracy is very low, approx 48 tried and 29 only get it. So yeah, let's discuss it. What is the problem? So yeah, here we are given an array from of n elements, and from 5 no, and what we have to do is we can change any element AFI to minus a minus 1. So here is an example which he has converted from index 1 to a. So what we have to do is we have to make the product of the full array maximum, and what operation we can do is we can just change the current element to minus a minus 1. So yeah, as we like, if the number is positive, we are changing it to negative and doing minus 1. In when we are doing the minus 1 in the negative, it is increasing the number. Like if we are having 3 and 3, and like let's clear the board. If we are having 3 and 3 and doing putting the minus sign and doing minus 1 again, so it will become minus 4. But multiplying both the negative number, it will become the positive and give the sum more than the given number. So as we have to increase the total product of the full array, so what I did is I first thing coming to mind is, first I check to the full array, like I traverse the full array, and if I check that if I change the current element to minus minus a minus 1, then which one is bigger? If the resulting element is bigger, if I do the operation and the element is bigger, like I am taking the ABS, because if we are doing a multiplication, then I'll consider positive. So yeah, when I am doing like we are given 2, like I'm given 2 2 2 and 2, I am if I am doing the operation, it will become minus 3 minus 1, that is 4. minus 4. I am taking the ABS modular value. So if 4 is bigger than 2, so I will change it. Oh no, it will not become 4, it will become 3. Minus 2 minus 1, so it will be minus 3 in the modulus equal 3. 3 is more than 2, so I will do the change. I will change to 2 to minus 3. Yeah, I will do the all the operation if I am getting the bigger value than the before. At last, if all the, then I will check the case, because I have to maximize the product, so I don't need the negative value. So at last, after doing such operations, I will check how many negative value I have till now. If I am having the negative value in the odd number, so if I am having the odd count of negative number, so definitely I will get the answer in the minus, so I can't maximize the current answer. So what I will do is, when I received negative number of uh, I received odd count of negative numbers in the array, then I will find the maximum of negative numbers, because as we know, if we are finding the maximum in the negative numbers, they are becoming smaller and smaller. No, I am finding the minimum, like minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So yeah, if I am finding the minimum, because as like you can expect that I have three this minus value, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and definitely I need even count at last. So definitely I have to change one value to the positive, doing the same operation, minus AFI minus 1. So I will find the greatest value, because the greatest value in the minus sign will be the smallest, like 1 is the biggest. So I will find it and do the operation to that, and the last will be, that will become minus 3, minus 2 and 1, and this will be your answer. So yeah, here I am taking the inputs, and I am checking if I do the operation, and if I get this as maximum than before, so I will do the operation, and then I am checking, counting the negative value, how many negative value I am having till now. If I am having the negative count as odd, so I will find the maximum value, like which one is the maximum, minus 1, because the smaller one is the maximum in the negative case. Then I will do the again operation on that, because I make the negative integer as a positive. So at last I am having the even count of negative, and getting the maximum product. So this was the problem C. So yeah, hello Krishna, did you solve the C problem like this, or do you have another approach?
Yes, mine was also similar. So
So yeah,
that's
yeah, you can continue with D. Actually, I'm a bit confused in the D. Like I read the problem, but didn't get the approach how to move with this.
Mhm.
How I can calculate the backgrounds. Like if in the first test case, we are given the 7, and
Yeah.
in the test case, in the explanation, let's explain the question first. Like we
Yes.
are
Yes.
given the, yeah, you try to explain.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah,
Should I present my screen?
yeah, sure.
Yeah. So hello everyone. My name is Krishna. Let's see problem D. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah, visible.
Yeah. So let's see what the question says. The question says like we have n beacons located at distinct positions, and each beacon has a power bi. Let's assume that each beacon is a bomb. So each bomb it is at some position and it has some power bi. If it is activated, it can destroy till bi point, will destroy all those bombs which are uh, at bi left to it. Let me draw it and show you.
Yeah.
So let's take a number grid. These are some positions. Or let's take the first example. That will be good.
Yeah. Like in the first example, we will get at max 7.
Yeah. So we have a number till 7. So here this have a power of 9, this have a power of 1, this have a power of 1, and this have a power of 4.
Yeah.
So let's see what the question is. We have to start activating bombs from the right after destroying the seventh. Like the let's take some bombs over here. If we destroy this bomb, like if we activate this bomb, this will blast till 76543 till here.
Okay.
Okay, so these bombs won't be available uh, for activating after this step. Then we have to activate this bomb. First, these are all destroyed, but the bomb which was activated will stay will stay alive, like it won't be destroyed. So here we have two bombs destroyed after the whole process. Because if we activate one, there is no bomb on its left, so nothing will be destroyed. So here one will be left, and the seventh bomb will be left, and 3 and 6 will be destroyed. So the number of destroyed bombs will be 2, right?
Yeah.
So the question is like we have a chance to put one more bomb to the right of it, to the right of all the bombs with any power, so that we can and after activating that, like after keeping it at that position, and if we simulate the same process from right to left, we should be able to destroy the minimum bombs. Like the number of bombs that will be destroyed should be minimum.
So yeah, if as in the given the explanation, like if you place a bomb at 9, so
Yes, exactly.
it will burst to 7, and if again now 7 will be burst, so now we have to
Or
on turn on the 6, then no, again no bomb will be burst, then again
yes,
we turn on the 3, then again no more bomb will be burst, then
yes,
again we will turn on 1, and no more chances to burst because the previous one is also on.
yes. So only one bomb was destroyed.
So in the but in the second case, like we are given from 1 to 7, uh,
Mhm.
and at this is of 1, then
Okay,
how the answer is 3?
okay. I haven't seen the test case. Like I directly implemented it.
Okay.
Let's see the test case right now. So this is one, two. Like there are bombs at every each and every position till 7,
Yeah.
and
And power is 1.
yeah, power is 1.
Mhm.
So this is 6. Array yaar, let me draw it.
हाँ, कोई ना.
Okay, sorry. This was like this.
Yeah,
So when 7 is activated, it will destroy 6.
exactly.
When 5 is activated, this will destroy 4.
Yeah.
When 3 is activated, it will destroy 2. And when 1 is activated, it won't destroy anything. So 3 bombs are blasted.
Okay. Okay.
So that is the answer. Because if we take any other bomb over here, if we
Yeah.
try to destroy 7, still 3 will be remaining.
Yeah.
So anyway, we are going to get 3. Let's say if we destroy till the sixth bomb. So
Mhm.
here, two of them are already taken,
Yeah.
and we know how much we are going, how many bombs we are going to do destroy from this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, so it will increase. The
Okay.
optimal answer was not to do anything or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just destroy the seventh one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this thing is like we will do like this. What happens if we destroy till here? We will first do this.
Okay.
If we destroy till 7 from the right, like we can keep any a bomb of any power. Let's say always we will keep at the last position plus one position.
Okay.
Always we keep it here, and now we have to select its power. Like we can destroy one thing from there, or two things from there, or three things from there. In that way, we can destroy any number we want.
Okay.
So now we are check which is the best one, best thing to do. Let's say let's say DPI denotes number of bombs that will be destroyed, like that will remain hmm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
till this point,
Okay,
like number of bombs that will remain till this point.
okay.
So if we damage till this point,
Hmm.
then like if we can wait, let me show.
Yeah,
I
sure.
will try to explain with the code. So at every point, first we will, as we have to calculate it from right to left. Like if we destroy till here, the answer will be like DP of 6. Like you're getting it right.
Yeah.
If
Actually,
we destroy till
actually, what we are storing the DP array.
okay, DP of I will store the number of bombs that will remain.
Okay.
That like if we start the process from here,
Okay.
how many bombs will remain?
It will. Yeah.
Three
Okay.
bombs.
Yeah.
So DP of 5 will be like index of this.
Okay.
DP of 5 will be 3, like number of bombs that will remain.
Okay.
So what we are going to get from this? This is it. So uh, first we will go from left to right
Yeah.
this way,
Okay.
and at every index we will let's take 5 for now.
Okay.
For every index, we will check if it is destroyed till here, what will be the answer.
Okay.
At every index we will check that. If we destroy till here in the first attempt itself,
Okay.
how many bombs we are going to remain?
Okay.
This is what we will do. So for this we will do like then what will be the answer? If this is at position I,
Yeah.
then DP of I
Mm-hmm.
like 8 minutes.
Yeah. Like what you are doing is you are making the pair at you are starting from the zero index. You are making the pair of
Pair
now
of
for
uh,
the
will denote
first minus the second. Second is I guess the power.
yes
So for the first
till which
like
point it will be destroyed.
so okay
If we
and
take 5, if we activate 5 in the at yeah,
yeah,
yeah, sorry, I guess I messed up one thing.
yeah, yeah,
DP of I will denote how many bombs will remain if we start the process from here.
yeah, exactly.
Like
What I
we will
was thinking
destroy
right
it
now
here.
is
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
because
We will destroy.
we can't predict at the first like what will be happen after if it destroyed five, then
Yeah, yeah.
what will be happen at the six, seven, eight.
Bombs will remain answer.
So yeah,
Yeah. So DP of I will be if we start the process from here,
yeah,
what will be the bombs that remain?
yeah.
This is the thing. While all these bombs are destroyed.
Okay. So we are assuming that we are given the number as 7 and we have placed a bomb at 8 with the power of like we are at index 5 and we assume the power of 8 as 2 that
Yes.
8 has destroyed 6 and 7 and now we have to calculate from 5 which are remaining which will be remaining after when we will activate 5.
Yes.
Okay, as we proceed, like as we move on after 5, we have 7. So at 7, we will assume that the power of eighth bomb is
Hmm.
0. Like we can't
Like one.
make 1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then
Yeah.
zero.
So we
Then
will check whether when we have make the power of 8 equal to 1, that the 7 bomb is destroyed. Then how many bomb will be destroyed when 7 will be activated? Yeah.
yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Now I got it. So, yeah,
So
you store the till
what happened?
lower bound of a right of now. Like how
Yeah.
many bomb will it will be damaged with the
Yes.
with the power
Like
of Now, which
Like if
which
it have a power of 3,
yeah,
it can destroy all the bombs till this point.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So this can be like founded by 6 minus 3, lower bound of 6 minus 3.
exactly.
So we can find the index at which this bomb was existing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So uh, we have already stored what happens if we start the process from here, as we are processing from left to right,
Okay,
right?
okay, okay, okay. Yeah,
So
great.
dp of this till is the bomb till which position the bombs will be destroyed in this range.
Yeah, and the previous range we have
And,
the stored in the previous indexes of the DP, right?
yeah. So dp of till minus 1 will be our new starting point
Exactly.
after destroying it. So dp of till minus 1, yeah, if till is greater than 0, this is normal check.
Yeah, because till minus one we have already calculated before, previous
Yes, we
values
are
which will be destroyed.
going from left to right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, got it.
And the I minus 1 till point will store, like if this is I,
Yep, yep.
this is till. Till is nothing but the index of, this is not exactly 3, as we have each and every point over here, this is 3, but we may not have a bomb at 5.
Yeah, yeah,
And then the I minus till means the number of bombs that will remain in this area.
yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah. I got your idea. Great.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, let's move on to problem E. Yeah, it was a great problem, I guess. The problem D.
Yes,
16.
the problem I have submitted right now after the contest. I made a silly mistake.
It got accepted.
Yes, yes, it is.
Oh, great.
Just a single line was wrong. Like
Yeah, I
I will
found it was great. Accepted. Yeah, let's explain the question first. Yeah, guys.
so the question is given like uh, we have n exams.
So yeah,
Yeah, we have n problems, and we are given t milliseconds to solve all of them. Okay,
yeah.
like t seconds. Let's say t seconds. Now, uh, our like teacher has assigned each problem with AI.
Okay,
Like if we have 5 problems with power with a of I values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, if we have to solve 2 problems, like if we solve 2 problems, like if we solve 3 and 4 or 2 and 3, then we will only get points if the value written on it is greater than or equals to the number of problems we solved.
okay.
I
If
will take 2 examples
uh,
and explain. If we take
okay,
1 and 2 and 2 and 3,
yeah,
here 1 is less than 2,
yeah.
so we are not going to get any point out of it.
Okay,
And 2 is equal to 2, so we are going to get a point from here.
okay,
And in this example, we can get a point from here and we can get a point from here as well. Like we will get 2 points from here. Like the number of problems we are going to solve, hmm?
so
If we
yeah.
are going to solve 2 problems, then every problem's AI,
Mm-hmm.
every problems have an AI, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that value should be greater than or equals to the number of problems we have solved.
So yeah, we will then we will only choose those problems which are more than
Yes.
as we have to choose like k problems. So it will we will only choose the problems which are
The
more than
problem,
k.
yeah, which whose A of I value is k or k greater than k.
But I think the here the task is how can we find the k, like which value of
Yes,
the k.
yes, that's the main point.
Yeah,
So here let's see. It's better not to take those values which won't add any which won't add anything to our answer, right?
exactly, because we will only take which are more than equal to k.
Yeah, it will become more worth.
Yeah, exactly.
We take.
Because otherwise the
So
problem will only consume the time.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So let's discuss the problem if we have a fixed k.
Okay.
What happens if we have fixed number of problems to be solved?
Okay.
if we can solve if we have to solve 3 problems, then we will take all the a of I values into a separate set, like in a separate vector or something, and we will sort them according to the oh, one more thing I have to say. For each and every problem we have a time given to solve it.
Yeah.
Like the first problem have a value 3 and it can be solved in 100 seconds.
Okay.
We have to take a subset of problems such that every problem's ai is greater than k, and the total time taken to solve all these problems is less than the total uh, this capital T,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So what is the general thing everyone what
Till now, what I have thought about this question, like how can I proceed it? Like
Mhm.
I didn't get the approach. How can I find the k? But
Yes,
I get that like we will iterate over the all the possible value of the k, and choose only
well
the
let's
or
think.
choose only the values of the AI which are more than equal to k,
Yes,
and which whose the sum of the times is less than the given total time. Then we will push them all the values in the array and we will print them. But
yes,
I stuck in the part where how can I find k? If I iterate over all the possible values, then I guess I will find the t array.
yes, TLA आ जाएगा.
Yeah. Then
So the
yeah.
thing is, if we can solve k problems,
Yeah.
then we can easily solve k minus 1 problems,
Yeah. Exactly.
because one like time is also getting reduced
Yeah. Exactly.
uh, due to the one more problem, right? So we
Hmm.
can solve k minus 1 problem for sure, right?
Yeah.
If we can solve k, then we can solve k minus 1, but we have an ambiguity if we can solve k plus 1 or not.
Yeah. Sure.
So if we take if we can draw something out of it, like if k is possible, k minus all k minus 1, k minus 2, k minus 3 are possible, and if let's take a threshold value, and after that none of them will be possible.
Yeah.
What comes to mind after seeing this?
Um.
When
Like we will
when
the possible
we
values.
when k
Yeah.
f of k will give output like this.
Yeah. Till now, like we can the which you have the values one. We will
Hmm.
sort them according to the times, and we will take the values first, which will take the lesser time, and put into the given array of the
Oh,
answers.
that yeah, I'm not I'm saying this thing. Wait 1 second. I'm saying like, hi, what you said is correct. If we have a fixed k, then what will we do? First, we will take all the elements with a value greater than or equals to k.
Yeah.
We can take like a pair of time and its index.
Yeah.
Taken to, then we will sort this array.
Yeah.
We have a fixed k.
Yeah.
Then we will sort the array, and we will take top k elements,
Okay. Yeah.
top k problems, and if the sum of them is less than the time given here,
Okay.
then it is a valid answer.
Yeah.
So in that way we will return 1 if it is valid.
Oh, I got it. Like if you are saying like this, if like at first we will iterate, like we will choose a value of the k, and
Yes.
if the
Let's say
if
we are running a loop from
0 to n,
0 to n.
yeah, if we find any k which is valid, then we will check only to its right, because the left is always true.
Yes. So if
Okay.
we
Yeah.
from 0 to n, then the output will be something like this. For every k,
Yeah. Exactly.
after values, all will be 0. So what comes to mind after looking at this kind of thing?
Yeah, this always comes that if we are at some point k and that k is valid, that
Yes.
means we can choose a k, then we don't have to find the values of the k lesser than the present index. Then we will always move towards the right.
Yes.
So yeah,
So
okay.
the main idea is using binary search.
Yeah, I got the idea. Binary search. We will do the binary search on 0 to n and find the maximum value of the k, which gives
Valid.
which gives the valid answer, and we will put the questions we have solved in the array and print the answer.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
great.
let's
Yeah,
have the
yeah,
solution. Yeah.
awesome man.
So this is like first I'm taking the input.
Okay,
Just taking the input. N and T. I have taken N and T first.
yeah. Time
Sorry.
for capital T for total time.
Yeah, total time. I have made it global.
Yeah, okay,
And now I'm taking these as pairs.
okay.
I will take this as pair and binary search. Like the possible values are from 0 to n.
Yeah, you have taken the first index as smaller than the given, and the last index is the more than the given. Oh,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Yeah, in
okay,
my way of implementation, I do like this.
okay,
I will extend the boundaries and perform it this way.
okay,
So if we have taken the mid, I will store the temporary answers in res.
okay.
It is global.
Yeah,
I will explain it further. And if the given k, now mid is nothing but k.
yeah. We will check if the mid
We
is
are
valid or not.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So if it is good, then it can be a possible answer.
Yeah,
So answer equals to result karunga. I will do answer is equal to res. And in the last iteration, we will have the answer over here,
yeah, exactly.
like this thing, because we are going to print it in the last, right?
Yeah,
So this is the thing. So now let's see what the good function does. As we have discussed, if we have a fixed k, then it is quite easy to do it. We will
yeah,
take a temporary array and we will take the times. A of I dot se is the second one of it.
yeah.
That means time taken to solve ith problem.
Okay.
The time taken and its index only if a of like its a value, that
If
this
the
value
if
is
the
greater than
quotient if the quotient value is given more than the k, that
yeah,
then only it's the good point to choose the current
yeah,
problem. Otherwise, it will be the waste of time.
yeah, it will be discarded.
Yeah,
So after doing that, we will sort according to the times.
yeah, mm, sure.
Now the thing is, if we don't have x problems, at least x problems,
Yeah,
then we
then
can directly return false.
yeah, exactly.
And this value will store the total time taken.
Okay.
So value equals to temp, like this thing, this
Yeah,
thing.
total value because we have to make the time less than the total k.
Yeah, we will take the first k problem
Okay.
and we will push it in the vector also.
Or
And
result in a
we will
vector.
yes,
Okay.
res is a vector to store temporary results
Okay.
for every. And if value is less than or equals to t,
Okay.
this is a Boolean expression, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this will return true if this satisfied. So
Exactly.
value less than or equals to sorry will return true. If
Okay.
this returns true, then this rest will be stored in answer.
Yeah, that can be one of the answers.
Yes, that can be one of the answer. And in the last iteration, like when the binary search ends, at
Yeah.
that time L will have the answer, right?
Yeah,
L
exactly.
will have the maximum index, and along with it, this will have answer also.
Yeah.
So this is what I did. The thing I was doing wrong earlier was wait, not this thing. I was printing res, not answer.
Oh,
I had
okay.
that was
Okay. Okay, okay. Because res is updated after every time. Like if
yeah,
we
yeah,
are if we shift the right limit, then also the res is changing.
yeah.
Okay, okay,
Now
okay.
after changing this, it got accepted.
So yeah, great question. Yeah, I will love to solve it both
Yes.
D and E.
This is a question on binary search.
This okay. Yeah, binary search questions. Yeah, great. Yeah, I will definitely try to solve it. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, this was the virtual contest 29. Yeah, thank you, Krishna, for explaining the D and E. Yeah, it
Yes.
was a great contest. So yeah, if you like the video, do like and subscribe. And any feedback, I would love you to please update in the comment box how we can do better in the videos, next videos. So yeah, goodbye, happy coding.
Okay, happy coding. Bye bye.
Bye.